Metro News sits down in a recent phone interview with Tom Hunter, Associate State Director of the AARP, or American Association for Retired Persons, in which they discuss the issues seniors face amid rising consumer and medical costs as part of the upcoming announcement of a 5.9% nationwide cost of living adjustment increase. What's going on, guys? Josh Baldwin here from Mad Money Millennial, bringing you the latest news and most straightforward information out there for those of you on SSI, SSDI, SNAP, or EBT benefits. You can do me a giant favor by tapping those like and subscribe buttons, and let's get into this update on Social Security cost of living adjustment payments. In this discussion, you'll notice a lot of interesting points that will shed some light on what exactly is causing this erosion in the buying power of retirees, and what actions and policies are being created to address these issues. Let's take a listen.
What they come out, or the COLA will be added at a slightly different time depending on when you were born. We don't have to go through all that, but is that right? I mean, when will recipients see that increase? This month? Sometime this month?
Yeah, they'll begin to see that increase in the due checks that are being issued, and because that COLA calculation is backward looking and fixed in time based on the change from third quarter 2020 to third quarter 2021, it doesn't always capture the full increase in goods and services if inflation persists beyond September, which it has, as we well know. So in the 12 months that ended in November, the CPIW, that's the consumer price index that's used for calculation of the COLA, jumped 7.6%, and the consumer price index for all urban consumers, the most common gauge of inflation, gained 6.8%. So if inflation would continue at that pace, it would erode the future buying power of Social Security payments. But yeah, it is beginning to be phased in with these new checks.
Okay, so there you see Tom explain how the COLA increase really isn't doing the best job of keeping up at all with the rising rates of inflation, therefore directly eroding the buying power of retired workers.
But Tom, as you alluded to, and there's more there, that seniors and everybody else, but a lot of people on fixed incomes being stressed by the increased cost at the grocery store, gasoline, and also Medicare Part B. The cost for Medicare Part B is going up. What do you know about that?
Well, here's the challenge. You get a little bit more in your household budget, and with the rising cost of prescription drugs, we continue to see more of it be taken away. Yes, Medicare Part B premiums have jumped due to inflation to $170 for this year. That's up nearly $22 from last year's monthly premiums. And what we see there is the person receiving the average Social Security benefit and the average Social Security benefit now after the COLA increase is $1,657, up from last year's $1,565. What we're seeing now is folks would see a net benefit after the Part B deduction now of $1,487. So you're like, well, wait, it was $1,600, now it's down closer to $1,500. Why is this happening? Well, those with the smallest Social Security benefit are the ones, frankly, Hoppy, they're getting hit the hardest with this increase that's coming this year with Part B premiums. And those are directly deducted from most Social Security payments. Folks with the lowest benefits will see the smallest increase in terms of the COLA, but they may be the same people who depend on Social Security for most or even all of their income. And we know here in West Virginia, 30% of Social Security beneficiaries rely on Social Security for 90% or more of their income. So you're going to see a negligible gain if you're having those Part B Medicare deductions taken out with the COLA increase, unfortunately.
Yeah, so Medicare Part B premiums, as Tom pointed out, really are the inevitable silent causes for these Social Security payment reductions. Now, one bit of good news I wanted to point out was a recent White House press release in which President Biden announces prescription drug pricing plan in Build Back Better framework. Now, it's not the longest press release in the world, so I'm going to go ahead and read it over for you. Nearly 1 in 4 Americans struggle to afford prescription drugs. Yet Medicare is currently prohibited from negotiating prescription drug prices to get the best deal for American seniors. President Biden and congressional Democrats rolled their sleeves up in recent days to produce a compromise plan to end this unfair prohibition and reduce the cost of prescription drugs while ensuring we continue to reward innovation and breakthrough new treatments. Specifically, the plan will finally let Medicare negotiate drug prices. Medicare will negotiate prices for high-cost prescription drugs. This will include drugs seniors get at the pharmacy counter through Medicare Part D. and drugs that are administered in a doctor's office through Medicare Part B. Drugs do become eligible for negotiation once they have been on the market for a fixed number of years, usually 9 years for small molecule drugs and 12 years for biologics. Medicare will negotiate up to 10 drugs per year during 2023, with those prices taking effect in 2025, increasing to up to 20 drugs per year. The policy will establish a clearly defined negotiation process that is fair for manufacturers and gets the biggest savings on drugs that have been on the market for a long time. This discourages drug companies from abusing laws to prolong their monopolies while encouraging investments in research and development of new cures. Drug companies that refuse to negotiate will owe an excise tax. Impose a tax penalty if drug companies increase their prices faster than inflation. Starting when this bill becomes law, future drug price increases will be compared to their current prices. We will finally put an end to the days where drug companies could raise their prices with impunity. If prices for a drug increase faster than inflation, manufacturers will owe a tax penalty holding down prices for Americans with all types of health insurance. Directly lower out-of-pocket costs for seniors. Today, there is no cap on how much seniors and people with disabilities have to pay for drugs, and millions of seniors pay more than $6,000 a year in cost sharing. This proposal puts an end to this burden and ensures that seniors never pay for more than $2,000 a year for their drugs under Medicare Part D. The plan will also lower insulin prices so that Americans with diabetes don't pay more than $35 per month for their insulin. Lawmakers have also agreed to lower seniors' cost sharing for all types of drugs, and they are working expeditiously to finalize legislative text that will save seniors money at the pharmacy without increasing premiums. All right, so at least that is some promise for hope on the horizon for retired Americans, hoping for more out of their Social Security checks next year. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. Stay safe, stay hustling, and I will talk to you guys again soon.